Have you ever loaded a web page at intervals to get some information as soon as it exists? Or gone through multiple pages of content to copy website information to be used offline? The next time you find yourself monitoring the price of a shoe you like in your favorite online store, or performing a similar routine task on the web, remember that it's possible to get your computer to do that work for you. Hi, I am Michael, a senior developer at Andela, and in this video, we'll learn about web scraping using JavaScript. This is Andela's job board. At the time of filming this, there are currently 80 jobs on there. I've written this tiny script to show a visual animation as it counts the jobs on this page. We'll copy the script into the developer console and watch it work. Notice how our script contains jQuery syntax. That's because this web page uses jQuery, and that comes in handy when performing DOM manipulation, like our tiny script does. What if we could write a script to tell us when an available job role at Andela changes? We can know when a new job is added or an existing job removed without having to look through and compare each one by one. As you keep watching, I hope you have some knowledge of JavaScript and Node. If not, I've provided links in the description below to resources on the internet where you can begin. We'll need a text editor to begin writing our code, and you can use any editor you're comfortable with. All right, so let's start with our code. We create our program, our project folder, and then our job CLI. So the first thing we do is we add a Git repository, create a Git repository, then we so these are aliases I used to create my git ignore for Node and my license folder, my license file for MIT. And so npm init, and then job CLI, speed through this until we get here. It's okay, yes. And now, so let's figure out what we want to do. First thing we want to do is to retrieve Andela jobs HTML and look for links within it and get name. Perhaps that's probably what we want to do. Get the name, link, and location for each job within it. Then save to a file or compare with already saved outputs in that file to find changes. Compare with already saved outputs, previously saved outputs. This is probably it. Retrieve Andela job HTML. We get the link, name, and location for each job, and compare to previously saved outputs to find changes. So now for this, to retrieve the job HTML, we are going to be making use of a package called Axios. Axios is an HTTP client for the browser and for Node.js, and it's really, really good. So we're going to be npm install Axios. To get the name, link, and location, we're going to be making use of a jQuery-like package for Node called Cheerio. Okay, this is Cheerio right here. And to compare with, to find changes in the jobs between the previously saved array and the current one, we're going to be making use of fast array diff. So let's begin. Let's run this. So now we can require Axios, and we require Cheerio, And we also require fast array diff. Fast array diff. So first thing we do is we retrieve our HTML, then res is console.log, res.data, and if there's an error, we catch it and console.log the error. Okay, so now when we run node index, we should get an HTML output, which we can then query with Cheerio, remember? So we have our const this is cheerio.load, and we pass our HTML data into this. So now if we inspect our links, we want to get the name of the job, that's business analyst. We want to get the link. Okay, let's not this, but then one wants to get the location. Now, these are common to this div with the class opening on it. See, each job is in its own div with a class opening on it. So we can retrieve that with Cheerio by saying div class opening, then map through it, and in each of them, the name of the job is in an A tag with a data mapped and href attributes on it. So we can find that. We can see the name of the job is this.find an A tag with a data mapped and href attributes, and the name of the job is in its text. The link of the job is in the same element, but it's an attribute of it, which is the href attribute. So we use the attr function to retrieve it, and the location is in a span. Okay, span text. To be more specific, the span has a class location, so we use that location. So when we return name, link, and location, we should jobs is equal to this. We should be able to console.log jobs to retrieve an array that has this information. And let's see, yes, now we have business analyst, we have the link, and we have the location. So now to compare with the previous one, we include fs, so we can store in files. So what we want to do is make sure that if if we already have a file, Andela jobs.html.json, sorry. If we already have this file, then we want to read that file, read file sync, Andela jobs.json as UTF-8. So we call this old JSON is equal to this. Then we have old jobs is going to be json.parse old JSON. Okay. Then we're going to use fast array diff to find the difference between the old jobs and the new jobs. Now the good thing about fast array diff is it has arrays like added, so we can see if there has been anyone added like this, if this.added.length is greater than 0, then diff.added.for each item. Then we console.log that item. Then we first add the added like this. And we do the same for removed. So if there has been anything removed, then we loop through that to get it. And if the file does not exist, then we just go through each job. And we console.log that job. Oh, this should actually be done outside of all this. So this should be done here. So now we have our jobs array here. We have our function to check if the JSON file exists and make these modifications. And if it does not exist, then we just list all the jobs. So let's save it and run and see what we get. Job is not defined on line 46. There is no jobs defined. What is jobs supposed to be? Jobs is supposed to be this. Oh, this should be job here. Okay, so initially we get this, and we're supposed to be having an Andela jobs. Oh, we did not, we forgot to save it. So this dot write file sync Andela jobs.json, and we are saving the json.stringify jobs, the entirety of it. And we're making sure it's going to be pretty formatted after we add these two arguments to json.stringify. So next time we run it, we should have our full jobs. Then we have this saved in here. But the next time we run it, we shouldn't have any outputs because there will be no change. Oh, we still get an output. Why do we get an output? If this that exists, then do this. We forgot to add the comparison function. The comparison function helps you when working with complex objects to know how to compare them, and it knows whether this is different from the other one. So we do something like this, return. Here we have the name, the link, and the location, and we want to make sure they are the same. So we have a.name is equal to b.name, and a.link is equal to b.link. This is the condition for whether two objects are the same, and a.location is equal to b.location. So fast array diff will use this comparison function to know whether two objects are the same or not. So next time we run this, we should not have anything in the output. Yeah, so we don't have anything in the output now, and let's remove an item from here. So we should have something in the added section. Yes, we have added here as business analyst, and if we remove this first one and we change this to the second one, then we should have two items in the added section and one item in the removed section. Okay, so next time we run this, then we have, yeah, two items in the added section and one item in oh, we forgot to rename this as removed. So let's do it again. We remove this first one and then we change this, then we should have this added and removed. So definitely have fun with it and we are good to go. In this video, we built a tool using JavaScript to detect changes in Andela's job post listing. You'll find links in the description below for additional resources, helping you to expand on what you have just learned. If you'd like some extra practice, I suggest automating this script to run every hour and show notification when there is a change. That should be a challenge. So the next episode, have fun coding and don't forget to subscribe.